And starting. It's happening. Look at that. I hope it's working. It's the first stream. I don't know. Oh, it's kind of neat to see the delay. I'm playing with it a little bit. Neat. No one's watching. That's what I expected though. Keeping an eye on the Twitch stream. This is neat. First time doing this. Hello. Nobody. This will be interesting. So I'm keeping an eye on things and learning. That's Stream Manager. Okay. So today I'm going to be doing a wheel build. I don't know what to expect for people to watch. Yeah. So taking a look at the settings, first time, I haven't really seen this before. I have a vertical monitor all set up. Today I'm going to be doing a bit of a wheel build. I don't expect for doing this for the first time. Tools. Yeah. Hopefully the music's come through okay. Not too loud. I don't really have a way of checking very well. Yeah. The OBS tool. Pitch stats. Sure, that's. I guess I'm technically the one viewer. Look at me go. Figuring this out as I'm doing it. A lot of settings. Very interesting. Dock there. Cool. Okay, well, might as well just start what I need to do and keep an eye on the stream to make sure if anyone comes in and asks questions. Neat. Cool, alright, well. Let's see. So, I'm going to do adjustment. So, I'm going to be rebuilding this wheel with a new rim for a customer because they need rim brake wheel, and that's a drum brake wheel. Starting with the rim. Whoa. So, first thing I gotta do, a little secondary camera here for this. Let's see if I got this set up. Oh, yeah. Cool. Don't know what perspective is the best. I'm gonna play with that one for now. Cool. So, got the rim. Gonna need to cut bicycle rim rod. So this is for measuring the ERD, or the effective rim diameter of this bike wheel. And then just got my little guys holding together. And let's see what else I got in here. Take a photo of the existing rim pattern. This is never bad to have a reference. It's a 3-cross pattern. Yeah, cool. Cool, and then, because I'm gonna have to cut that loose out of that wheel. The first thing I wanna do here is measure the rim. A lot of the time, these guys will actually have the measurements kind of stamped on the rim and or listed on the website, but it's not always accurate. Just manufacturing tolerances and differences. Things can happen, and it only takes a few seconds to verify the size. This guy uses 610 millimeter ERD. Like little numbers written on the rim here. So weird to see my hands moving on a delay on the stream. There it goes. That's neat. 610. So then we go to put that in on the website. One thing I didn't really think of. This. Oh. Green. First. Browser. Browser. Captured just in. Probably. I want to show how I'm doing this. What is the best way to There we go. Mess it up. Ooh, that's dark. Focus on me. There you go. There's some brightness. Video mode. Here we go. Okay, I'm learning how to use it. To capture. Perfect. Drop it. Base. Turn down. A braking surface. Braking surface is pretty much gone. Get the right angle. There we go. Done. What are we gonna do here? Well, I guess I'll start by. I'll move the wheel for now. It's fine. I have it on the desk. Don't need the device yet. So, bam, here's the wheel. So this there's no real braking surface on this rim. It's not made for it. Sometimes you'll look for grooves or something. It's very faint, but just not up for the job. And this was a drum brake wheel that had drum brake on this side. Just removed it to get this customer going with their bike, which is behind me. So, a bunch of ways to do this. first things first, need to get the tire off. Doo-doo-doo. So, it's not a bad tire at least. Oh, so much salt inside this tire. I personally prefer tire levers when removing tires. Oh, not too down. There we go. So, one of the first things, just get the tire off. Tire's still a little seated to the rim. Nothing that a little dish salt can. Dish salt in the water. Here's that ball. There you are. It just helps the rubber and metal not grab each other so aggressively. Oh, it's still holding on though. Let's go. I don't think that there's really much more air in this sucker. Yeah, there's a little bit. There we go. Oh, that's on there. Jeez. All right. My God. Lever hanging around, or should. Risky. Oh, that is on. Holy crap. Alright. And these Marathon Plus tires, super awesome, very solid. Great for keeping punctures off. Really difficult to get off on particular rims. Where did I put down? Here. Never really got crazy good at getting them off without levers. But then again, my hands aren't exactly the strongest when it comes to this type of task. There we go. Sometimes these things just fuse a little. Fuse not the right word, but the salt binds with it. There we go. Ooh. Ooh, that is a rusty boy. Cool. Normally you have to do all the rim tape and stuff, but since this rim is toast, don't have to worry about that. I can just jump right into getting the rim off. So that will be meaning, and I'm not sure what perspective is better. Oh, but thank you, Tiny Piranhas. Let me know how the audio is or anything. Still playing with all the settings. But yeah, gonna be wheel building this guy today, figuring that out kind of as we go. Also kind of no crazy urgent stuff, just trying to figure out a little troubleshooting with the stream. Yeah. I think the audio's going through okay. It's a dichotomy, you're dying or just living, homie. I feel the worst when I'm silent at home and I'm sitting lonely, brother. That's the story of my life, like it was already written for me. Okay, awesome. Feel like an imprisonment. Many times I tried quitting this, but these withdrawal symptoms, I was itching on my fingertips and tried to fly again and again, even when I felt my wings were clipped. I can't blame. I also got my multi-cam, so there's the one. Move it around on the mic arm. There's this perspective, or I can flip it. Not sure which one's kind of better. And then I have a mute for when people come on, so no one knows customers' privacy. And then I've been playing with having little stuff in it, but we'll play with that as time is appropriate. Anyway. Cool. This one. Cool. Be more like this might be better, and then thinking what works. Like this. There. Cool. This one's probably the most interesting. I'll give it a few seconds. This, I think, makes the most sense. And then, yeah. So, only one thing. This camera, better this way or flipped vertical. That's the only main one. The first way. Okay, leave it. Leave it. This. Cool. All right. Options. The audio is the biggest thing. Trying to make sure, how's the music coming through actually? Just soft in the background, too loud? It sounds good, perfect. Chill Pop uses a free, as long as you have the description in it, it's really simple. They just want your description. I couldn't get the text to work, and there's a setting that, there's a version of their website that plays their live playlist, but it's not streamer friendly. And it's the one that works with that little text thing that shows at the bottom of the screen to show what's playing. Can't do anything about it, but cool. Too loud, clear enough to hear, no, perfect. I also put a noise gate on, so if I swing a hammer, it should cut it. If it's like a loud bang or whatever, which is comfort. Hopefully, I don't know how to play with it until it comes out. I'm gonna be cutting spoke, so hopefully this isn't loud. We'll find out. It's gonna be pretty quiet. So, this wheel was a donation. So, I'm building it into a new wheel for a customer. So they're not, so this, I'm giving this away for free. I'm only charging for my labor as well as the new rim, which I have off to the side. Kind of paying it forward. So this hub itself, usually like 600, with a wheel, it's like usually around like 600 bucks Canadian. I have to keep remembering the camera's there. Yeah, usually around 600 bucks Canadian for the whole wheel. So doing this whole wheel build and everything for much less. No, it is, if anyone, this was on a bike still when you came by. This was on a green bike, and it was a broken frame. The customer ended up buying a whole new thing, and he didn't want any of this. So I donated a lot of the stuff to the local DIY volunteer shop. Bike Pirates, great place. Bike Sauce, also excellent. Both just keep weird hours in Toronto, but they're free. They're DIY, volunteer base. I'm on good terms with, I'm not on bad terms with Bike Sauce, but I'm on good terms with Bike Pirates. They certainly, let's see. I just don't, they're close to me. But so Bike Sauce I like a lot. That's actually where I first extrude my first bike wheel, which can get quite complicated. But oh, the wheel's free. But Bike Pirates is so close that it's really nice that they have like these really good old tools for like old Shimano freewheels from the when they were around in the 70s or 60s or so. They were called Shimano Ironworks way back in the day, which was kind of cool. And the weirdo hub design that I had to borrow a tool, they had this like 333 number across it. I'm not sure if that was their branding. I'm not sure where the origin of that was, but they eventually just changed it to Shimano. And that was back when they did like spot 5-speed freewheels way back when. But here we got the Iron Spider, as a few of my friends like to call when you're doing the wheel build. I'm just removing all the unneeded loose spokes, and I'll put these in my metal recycling. One of the issues is just like the fact of life when it comes to spokes is if you break more than 3, the recommendation, unfortunately, is to replace all the spokes. There might be some light tolerance on how far apart that happens in time, but the thing is, it's always a judgment call to make. If it's been like 5 years and you've had 3 broken spokes over like the first year and then 1, 2 years later, judgment calls can be made, but it's always best to change out all the spokes if you can swing it, because they tend to domino after that. It's kind of like a spoon. It starts to bend a little, and then the rest of the wheel starts to domino, and then it costs more, which is just unfortunate. Not as popular a wheel build at a lot of shops these days, but it is picking up because e-bikes are a thing, and e-bikes being motorized wheels especially, the whole motor costs more than the wheel build, so it tends to, the markets shift a little. There you go, hub's free. So technically I can look up the specs of this guy and find the measurements, but again, even those measurements might be accurate or not. If it's wrong, I've wasted all this material when I go over and cut the spokes on the spoke cutting machine over there. Let's see if these are actually magnetic. Make it easier to clean up. They are not. They are non-ferrous. Oh well. Oh, actually, I've got them on this little mat here. Alrighty, let's go clean these up. You've done well, spokes. First time I've used this mat, it's already ruined. Perfect. Don't have to worry about that anymore. Awesome. Clean that at the end of the day. Gonna get disgusting very quickly. Cool. So, hub. I use this little, I don't know, camera to face for this. This is a little saw height measurement gauge, which is awesome. Saves a ton of time when it comes to measuring the OLD, or the overlock nut diameter of the hub, because where center is on the hub, this is asymmetrical, so it tends to fall a little offset, so the spokes are going to be different lengths. Typically shorter on the drive side, the one with the cog, and then longer on this side. So basically, since it's going to be a little bit more offset to the center, so it'll be shorter. So this supports this side. The tension of these is super important. This guy, still important, but it's here to support the drive side. Cool. So got this guy, a little vise. One thing to make this all super easy, and referencing the, let's see. this. There, cool. All right. Made this layer while the stream was happening. That makes sense. Got very familiar with the OBS settings while I was playing with it. Oh yeah, the music. There we go, cool. Yeah, because I figure I'm gonna do some math and I need this to do it. So, going to be, yeah, I didn't know you can make a scene in a scene, and that's how I'm able to do this. There we go. So the microphone cut out when I went to this screen. Right? Anyway, the no mic worked when I went to that screen. Perfect, yeah. Yeah, I don't want so the door's open, and I am an open bike shop. And I don't want people to be able to get in here. Treating this as if you know what's going on, but I'm gonna treat you like you don't. That way, if anyone, I am recording the VOD, probably gonna snip a little bit from it if I do, but I'll play with it. And this is also just great practice. Yeah, I don't want, I don't know who's gonna come through the door. I don't know what they're gonna say, but also it's not fair to them. I wanna respect people's privacy. Cool. What was I doing here? Spokes, that, right. So, I want to make sure, because like left and right of the hubs and everything, there's a specific things I need to know. So pitch circle left. So now that the hub is free, I can actually measure it. So something just as simple as digital measuring caliper, and I will be measuring for the pitch circle left. Yeah, non-drive side left or non-drive. Be this. So the pitch circle left is just the distance between where the spoke heads go into the wheel on the hub on both sides. There can be some variation on this. Typically on most wheels, anything sub like $100, maybe like $200 or so, albeit being different from these sort of internal higher geared hubs. They'll typically be the same. Sometimes they're different. They'll typically be the same for some sort of quality or ride feel reason. Asymmetrical bike frames, a lot of Cannondales do that. 91, I'll let 91. Yeah, 91 millimeters for that. Oh well. I don't have a hotkey set up for the Firefox yet. Oop. And I closed the tab. There we go. There we go. Cool. Go left. So that will be 91. Circle right. Same thing, but the other side. Got my this going. Probably going to be at the same. Just has to be direct across. Sometimes they can be different. Nope, 91. Cool. 91 for that guy. 91. Plane is just on the left, so this is the part where I'm gonna have to measure it. And part of it is gonna be too, is DT. Let's see, I'm gonna go with, what do I am looking for? Okay, come on. Make sure OBS is open to play with that setting. I'm going to do a lot of stuff with this stuff. Digital height gauge. Cool. Push up a little. I think I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. Well, I'll just have to quickly make a little PDF viewer. I'll leave it for now. Yeah, I'll make a little PDF viewer thing. We'll leave that first. So, I'm going to measure that hub. Actually, reference. It wants drive side down. Cool. All right. Drive side. I'm just making this simple on myself, giving myself the height. Everything. Kind of fun. Whoa. So, try to do the best I can. Basically, going to be, oh, don't need that. A saw height gauge to measure this hub out. Start at 0. Bring this bad boy up. The center of the flange. 41. All that 41. Part is 97. Last part will be 125. Cool. Okay, cool. So, the next thing I gotta do I'm gonna be using, is there a way to draw on this? Ooh, there is. Cool, all right, I'm just figuring out how to do this computer. Usually I do this pen and paper, but it's not fair to hide bits. Oh, cool, it just does it. It does what's active. Cool, that makes things easy. So this is the calculation I'm gonna be doing here. So, open little pen. So it was 41. Ooh, that's crazy big. Can I draw my finger? Won't let me do it. All right, whatever. So it will be 41. And what was that middle number there again? E something. Yeah, 97, 25. Oh, this is awkward. Did not plan on doing this in the computer. 1, 2. Ooh, that looks horrible. Anyway, so A is 41, B 7, B is 125. So right hub flange with center. So here we have to do some math. I really wish I could use a pen for this. Anyway, so I'll also just take out a calculator on the computer desktop. Easy. Don't think you'll be able to see that. Hovering over the screen, but you can't see it. So it will be 125 divided by 2 minus A. So 5 divided by 2, 41 equals divided by 2. So 62.5. Right? Should have been done that by in my brain. Oh well. How much is this? No, we're making a mistake. 41 minus 21. So 21.5. That is right hub flange to center. And then left. 37. Terrible drawing. Sorry, 125. So awkward to draw with that with this little mouse thingy. Minus P. 7. 2.5. 2. Minus 125. 8. Close. 8. 34.5. Quite different folks. Perfect. Okay. 134.5. Perfect. Okay. So terribly written. Have to do. Can I draw that? Oh, no. Alright, whatever. I don't want to do it anymore. Oh, let's move it around then. Hey, how's it going? back. That's him coming in for a brake repair. Good little test for the privacy. I think it worked. But nice to have. The big thing I wanted to make sure I had going for this was having the tunes. It's dead. Quiet. At least it's something. I'm gonna get a snack. So. Yeah. Let's see. The wheel. Cool. Now I've got those in there. Got the calculation. Where'd you go? There you go. The 34.5, 21. So a right hand, 21.5. So then we go back to this. Oop. Get. Firefox. There we go. So now we got. 34.5, 5, and then right is 21.5. Oh, hole diameter, usually 2.6. A quick little measurement, just the size of the hole. Yeah, 2.6. Typical folks. DT obviously doing their own branding here. All look nice. Not actually using this brand of spoke, but 2.0. It's the size of diameter of spoke, which is about 2 millimeters or 14 gauge for your typical hubs. And then spokes right can be different. Again, based on wheels, number of spokes. This is, I believe, a 32 hole. Double check, but I'm pretty sure I counted it already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18. No, 36. Yeah, 18, 20, yeah, 36. Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 18. So 36. The rim got here. 36 hole, but I am going to double check it, make sure that I didn't completely mess this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Perfect, 36. Hate to make that mistake. Pretty sure I counted this already, but you know, boring if I don't do it out loud. Intersection. So typical strong wheels will be 3 cross. We're going to be doing that for this situation. And then already spit out the calculation bottom. The only thing I need to make sure. Oh, I hit tab one too many times. Standard brass 2. I just need to double check the length of the spoke nipples that I'm using. I don't think I'm using 14. I think I'm using a little longer. And actually, all silver and silver. Cool. Just want to make sure. Folks. Yeah, just a bit longer ones. I'm going to use probably like 16 mil. Yeah. Double check that size. There we go. A little bit bigger than 14. Double check the size. 16. 15 point. Whatever. 16. I'm gonna. Oh, I'm gonna both use the just all that. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, there we go, privacy. Why? So the hub I'm reusing, the rim no, because this rim has no braking surface. So this was originally a drum brake only wheel. You can kind of use them for both. There's usually a cover for this, which I have on the way, just something that slips over it just so stuff doesn't ingress into the hub. I might 3D print something. And then for the rim, since it's like this smooth shape, it might be rim brake compatible, but it doesn't look like it because it has like these machined lines on it that usually means you can use a brake on it because it has like this, what's it called? It creates more friction so that it can actually stop on it. But because this is so smooth and kind of rounded, it's not going to be appropriate for a rim brake. So the rim, and also the rim's damaged. Just the age of it too, just not something that you would reuse for this. So we're going to be using this rim, which is got this nice machined surface. Focus on. Yeah, I'm just trying. That's great. Yeah. Oh well. It's got like these nice like machine surfaces. It's still quite smooth, but like for a brake, it's gonna make more friction. And then also it has these eyelets, which make the wheel much stronger. So better for those forces when you're braking, as well as so bumps, longevity. Not like a huge upgrade. It's a pretty big upgrade rather, but it's not too expensive. Like a rim like this is like $60 Canadian. Well, assuming if anyone does watch this, probably US. I guess I technically did. Cool. Neat. Cool. So that now going back to this. So 16 millimeter nipples. So I'm going to be using brass nipples. It doesn't really make a difference on a lot of stuff. Pretty even wheel though. You might be able to get it with the same lengths. You can see 16 to 16, standard brass, 22, standard aluminum 16. The length doesn't change. It's all relative. You're just using this as a placeholder for it, which is nice. The only kind of thing that I personally find when it comes to DT Swiss's website for doing this calculation, I always -2 from whatever they do. So it's 289, now it's 287, 288, 286. I don't know why. It seems to, like those absolute perfect dimensions, having it 2 mils shorter, I don't know why. It seems to work better for my wheel building. A few of my mechanic friends have also done that too. And actually this was 36, so that's maybe a mistake. Oops, 36. Different numbers. Look at that. So I'm screwed up pretty bad there. So now 284, 282, and 280. So now it's actually a 2 mil difference. That's going to be pretty significant. So I do not want to use the same lengths. That was close. 36. 2. Awesome. So now I have to cut the spokes. Don't have a really great way of showing that off, but basically I have this spoke cutting machine at the back behind me there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this down on my customer's work order so I forget. I'm going to just make sure that true for customer. It's always nice to keep the clear written down. It's only science if you write it down. So 282 and 280. Cool. Oh, we disappear. 282. And 282 is drive, non-drive. That makes sense. Almost always is longer on the other side, on the non-drive, or the left. Nice to be this is specific. Hey, how's it going there? bag. Actually, just someone coming in asking about they wanted a helmet with goggles built on, or like a visor. They're not bad. They're just not ideal for cycling because you had a scooter, but kind of same difference. The problem is when you're riding around with a helmet with a visor on it, unless it's like a specific cut or you have some sort of like anti-fog, they fog up, and it tends to become harder to see. Even though it's breaking the wind, it becomes a little bit more dangerous. Especially, I've even had it where here in Toronto, the goggles will kind of freeze. They'll get like a frost across it just from your own breath. And if you're really pedaling hard, more heat, more moisture, more freezing, it kind of gets a little dangerous. Especially since I wear glasses, I'm kind of used to it. Oop. There are anti-fog sprays that I really like. I do like, what brand was it? I think Muck Off makes a really good one. MUC-OFF. They make some really good stuff. I remember the best example was I'm sitting over the dishwasher, open a drawer, didn't fog. It did wear down the layer really quick because the moisture still hits them, but it did work for like a whole day. I've seen that Decathlon sells these anti-fog, like little, almost like chapsticks, like fabric chapsticks or whatever, that are for their swim goggles. I haven't tried in the winter, but that might work, and they're cheap, whatever. But it is kind of neat to see some options. But I personally prefer, especially in the winter riding, is just going to get some ski goggles. You can get some really nice ones that actually have like a tearaway cover. I have a pair of goggles I've had for like 7-8 years that are still basically brand new, because if I drop the lenses or whatever, and they also could be over the glasses. They'll usually say OTG or whatever. Really handy for mountain biking, especially when dirt and stuff hits the goggles. Like this could be summertime use. And when you grab one of the pull tabs and you tear away the dirt, scratches or whatever, and then you can see again. But the big thing is that it's a little bit of a distance from your face. Your breath isn't going to hit it because you're cycling, and then you can actually see. The way it goes. Having some options. The visors are neat, it's all in one package, but like it gets scratched, the whole thing. Like it just kind of happens. Helmets are really hard to put down somewhere if you're in between kind of situations. It's a little funky, but do what you can. If you prefer the goggles or the visor helmets, awesome. There are some really nice ones for the summertime, which are cool, that have like these, I forget what it's called, like some way to make like your vision a little bit more clear, like sharpens it. It's like chromatic or something like that. I know like Ride 100% has something like that. There's a few brands that do some really cool stuff with glasses. It's almost polarized lenses are really good. But anyway, I digress. To the wheel. So I have to build this wheel. I know the spoke length's 282, 280. I'm doing silver. Got my spoke machine back here. And my spokes. 14 gauge. Yeah, I'm just gonna double check though. Never. Might be the only one here, but I'm definitely the only one here making a mess. Let's see. Let's grab my mission caliper. Nice big old bag of spokes. Comes with no threads on them. Nothing. Oh, I have my autofocus. But whatever. So 14 gauge is usually 2mm. 2.2 millimeter is 13 or so, give or take a little bit depending on the brand and the quality control. If it's black, it's painted, might be a little bit bigger. 2 millimeters, 1.97. 1.97 again, so consistent at least. But the main thing is that rolling the spokes onto it are number one. So first things first, get 18 spokes off the side, and 19 just in case something doesn't work out. It's not always a perfect science. When it comes to this, sometimes like a thread is bad and I don't want to go back over the machine. But if I don't need to. Okay, cool. The very boring part, counting. 9. 10. 18 and a 9. I think that the first time chat is still hanging out there, so making sure I replied to it. I think I did. Chat, I'm not really sure. I'm gonna just write back the response for it because I don't know. I don't know how to let Twitch know I replied to it, so to make sure I do. Just the hub. This is just the hub. I kind of answered. Right. Just to kind of hang in there. Make sure it's not. It's like pinned and following the chat. Just want to make sure it's not ignored, like from sort of weird Twitch metric or whatever. Yeah. All right. So moving into cutting the spokes. I got this machine called the Morizumi spoke cutting machine. It's going to be a little boring for a moment for me to cut them. We'll figure it out. So I'm going to start with the non-drive side first, which is 280. Gonna do. They're all facing this way. Make my life a little easier. Got my nice spoke cup. Little weighted cup to make sure stuff doesn't fall over, but it's got a bunch of spoke nipples in it right now. Keeps things organized. So. Off. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, well, you know, see if I can make that camera like not obstructed. There we go. Cool. Nah. It's gonna be boring. I'm gonna be watching this for a minute. As well as that. So, got one. A lot easier to have something like this when you're doing I like wheel building. It's one of those situations where, let's see, just right length, so 84. This is a little long. Double check. I believe it's 280 and 281. I want to make sure I got a lot of these if you really know how to cut them wrong. 282 and 280, cool. What was I saying? Right, so this is a spoke cutting machine. No, most shops don't have something like this. Just, it's a bit of an investment, but having a ton of spokes that you have to cut all the time is also been, you have to order all the time is also been an investment, so it kind of balances. 280, 281, 282, perfect, right? Exactly right length. So I'm using this thing. It's called a spoke. It's just a spoke ruler. Very simple. You just put it into there, and bottom. $282. There you go. Nice thing of measuring cotter pin and ball bearing sizes. I like when they do stuff like this where it's like multi-use. Just gets a little more life out of equipment. Also the stamp metal. So I personally like to just go through and cut them all in one go. Also oil this guy as I go through. Oil on metal is kind of like putting moisturizer or sunscreen with moisturizer on it to protect your equipment. Just makes it last longer. This is probably the most boring part of doing the wheel build though. Just cutting and threading the spokes. Getting the measurements and stuff I personally enjoy. And then the lacing, but it does get a little boring. one, there is always a small chance of the spoke machine drifting down a bit if you didn't put it tight enough, or a few other factors, but it's always nice just to double check your work at the beginning and end. Perfect, 2ED, 2. Perfect, so one length is done for the cuts, and now repeat for the threading. So this machine also threads the spokes. At some point, I'm thinking that camera will probably end up going over here, attach it somewhere. Don't really have any places to put stuff. Cable's running, cable's only so long. I'll figure it out. Gonna go here, and I'm gonna grab some oil. Oil in can. Oh, that has gone a little sour. I think it's just because it's ceramic based. I don't think it's bad, just brown. The oil. Whatever. Probably use something else. A little brown. Used to be white. I don't know what happened. Weird. Maybe something in here like disintegrated. It's gone very brown inside there. Gross. Alright, we'll have to clean that and figure it out later. It's like paint thinner. Or it smells like paint from like grade school. Like acrylic paint. Well, I'm gonna clean that off. So it was just like something in the tube that kind of went, but it looks like it kind of aged out. Way it goes sometimes. Yeah. Let's use. I got some. Just keep stuff moving, safe. Make sure it lasts more than a couple of years at least. All right, back to it. So, spoke in and roll the threads. There's a few spoke machines out there that I like. This one's my favorite one though, the Morozumi spoke cutting machine. I think it's technically made in Japan, but you get this guy from Wheel Fanatic in Texas. He assembles them, puts them together, tests them all out. They're really nice and really easy to use. And if they jam, which it does happen, they're very easy to take apart. The fill wood, which is really cool, turns and cranks in one motion, and it's way faster than this. But if it jams, this catches up quickly. As well as like changing the spoke size that you have to cut. This can easily switch between one gauge of spoke to another, while the more fill wood rather, it is like this like a feeler gauge block that basically grabs onto it. Oh, sounds like the music stopped. Oh no, it's just quiet for me. A little bit, hopefully the background for you. It's quiet. Weird working out without an utter silence, so just a little bit for me. It's nice. I think the microphone has been pretty good. And it's not picking up the music in the background. Yeah. Almost done with the one side. This thing also, I've used a few versions of this machine in the past. I get some close-ups images at some point. But like it has like this little counter. This has gone digital for measuring. It still has the analog use of it all. But it's been upgraded a few times, which is nice. That have some like digital niceties, just a battery guide. But we get this to focus on. Put it back. There's the reds. Come on. Yeah, do a whole bundle. Zoomed out. The nicely cut spokes. To the size that we need. So this is the non-drive. I like to put it on the non-drive side, so I'm going to put it on the left of my bed. Left of my bed. Oop. Oh, for the 280. Again. Smidge long. I have to recalibrate my cutting machine. It's off by like almost exactly 1 millimeter. A little hard to calibrate perfectly. It's not hard, but just takes time. But the fact that it's off by 1, it's easy to kind of work off of that. Perfect. 280. Or like 0.5 millimeter, which is just the way it goes sometimes. If I know it's off by 0.5 mil, then it's calibrated to a number that I know. Ooh, I'm trying to thread it right now. Don't do that. Lay it up the same way. Checking in, see if there's anything missing on that. No, cool, neat. Not really sure where I'm going to be going with these screens, how much I'm going to do of them. So they put a guard here, it seems. Seeing how it kind of goes. Doing bike repair. Answering questions. A little different. But it's my slow season, so it's kind of fun to add a little something to it. Hey, how's it going? Cool. Well, I work next to a really nice bagel place, and they just gave me free soup. It's butternut squash. Yeah. When they have leftovers and stuff, they are very kind share with me. Soup. Probably one of my favorite. I think it's like ginger butternut squash. I'll have that a little bit later. It smells excellent though. I've been smelling it all day. It's very intoxicating. It's like living above a pizza place. But they change the soups every day. It's always like one soup for the whole day, which is really nice. So it's not like it's the same chili or something and just like going nuts. I do have a buddy that lives near the a cookie factory, and he goes nuts because of the here can. He lives next to the cookie factory and basically goes like cookies for a few days or most of the time and get crazy depending on how the wind blows. Just overwhelmingly delicious sugar in the air. But anyway, cool. So all those are measured, and a little bit more oil into there. Just gonna want something a little bit thicker, not crazy. Whoop. Good enough. So just a little oil onto where threads are and some of the moving parts. Neat. We're off to the races. I'll probably end up just leaving these on the bench, just so I don't get confused with the other spokes. Got like dreamer brain kind of happening. Trying to focus on a bunch of stuff at once and basically want to remove the mistakes. Oop. Got there. One thing that's really nice about this machine is it's so precise, and the way that it rolls on the threads, it can just redo them. So if you damage a thread or something happens or you don't quite put it in all the way, you can just reinsert it and it'll just go. Amount of wheels I gotta do. A couple more wheel builds to do. Hopefully I can stream them too. Don't have a crazy urgent week considering it's December in the bike shop. So I'm happy to answer questions and such. Trying to keep an eye on the stream. Yeah. Cool. Oh, but one of the neat things about the reason why I'm doing this internal hub, I don't think I actually said that. So this hub itself actually it's an internal 8-speed from Shimano. So the customer originally wanted an internal 3-speed, but the problem was the frame was too small for the hub. So I ended up getting this as an option. Sorry, the frame was too big for the hub. So per bike, here is a 135 millimeter dropout. I'll wipe off some of this oil, put it down. Oil off the bench, and just put those back there. Cool. So her bike, I shall point it out here, has a 135 millimeter dropout. That's just the distance. So there's like 5 sizes, maybe more. There's about 5 sizes. So there's 120 for single speed, 125 for like I think older road bikes, 130 for a little bit more modern hybrids. 135 is kind of the most common one now, and then 142 will typically be for through axles. A little bit more like more recent bikes in the last like 5 or 6 years. And then there's 148 for, I think they call that boost. That'll be for mountain bikes, and there's super boost and goes all the way to 155. I have to double check the numbers. I don't do a ton of mountain bikes. And then there's fat bike wheels, which can be bigger. I forget how big those guns go usually, but like and then the fork on the front can be much bigger as well, kind of locking all that in there. But yeah, still going to be lacing this wheel up now, starting with the non-drive side. Rim, get the hub. Yeah, so the nice thing about this hub, it's an internal 8-speed. So I had this donated to the shop. Basically, customer came in, broken bike frame, not much to do. The rim is kind of also messed up, so it's like a couple things kind of came together where it just didn't make sense, unfortunately, because the bike was an old, really nice, older Norco bike. But he was interested in an e-bike, and that's what we ended up like figuring out for him there. So I was able to reuse his hub here. So we donated this. I'm not charging the customer for this part. I'm giving it to them for no charge. They're just paying for the spokes, the labor, and the free wheel. Kind of neat. Yeah, that's what I'm after. So, nice to sit when I do this part. Not always. Around. So we'll play around and see what we get. Still. Sometimes I like to also put in the bikes, keep the hub stable. Start with the non-drive side. Actually, probably we'll just start with that in here. I do want to eventually 3D print or make or something of what would I call it? It's called a wheel lacing stand, wheel lacing jig. There's a few of them out there. They're quite expensive. They're like the Noble one is more than $400. I don't know if that's US or Canadian. I'm assuming that's US. And they can get quite expensive. So I'm gonna see if I can make one with 3D printed bits, which will be fun. But yeah, so let's see if get this just a little closer. Cool. It is good enough. Cool. So I'm gonna be lacing the wheel. Play with the angles a little bit if I need to, but I like to start off with having the valve hole, the bigger one there, and that's where the like the straighter valve will go through. Then grab myself a spoke, and I do actually like to have. That's fine. Cool. It's always nice to have like a bit of a frame of reference. I actually have the original wheel coming off this bike. It's a 3-cross pattern, as the other wheel is. So the spokes. So there's the head facing up right there. So this spoke is going this way. So 1 cross, 2 cross, back to back, 3 cross. And that's what creates a 3-cross pattern. Them being back to back helps makes it stronger. And part of the reason why like the distance is really important. Like it helps if this part hits, it helps spread out the lateral forces. I forget the exact science. It's been a bit since I've gone to bike school. But I just know that there is quite a bit of there's more strength with more crosses, helps with the distance, more material. There's a few things that come together. There is obviously like a limit to everything. But I like to look at the existing wheel as a reference point, kind of looking down at it. But basically you start at the spoke immediately to left of the valve, and then the next spoke that is, because this is going to be like up, down, kind of like a zigzag dotted line for where the spoke heads are. You're going to want to put the next one in, I believe 8 over from it, going from this guy, starting at like the one next to the valve, and then the valve, then skip that one, and the next spoke over there, and that'll be approximately 8 holes over. Eventually I'll figure out how to show this off a little bit better. But for now I gotta get this done. So just gonna double check for frame of reference. I looking at the other wheel. Really nice to have a frame of reference from another wheel hanging around. A bunch of photos is helpful, but dimensions, depth, you get a lot more better visibility when you actually have the wheel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What am I doing? From here, not the rim. Through your brain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Woo, perfect. So yeah, 8 heads over and facing downwards. Yeah, they end up facing the opposite way. I don't recall if it's important for it to which way you start. I think as long as it's flip-flopped, it should be fine. Anyway, I'll put this wheel down and start. So, start with. It's also nice, kind of what you like to do, what you should try to do is there's the logo on the hub. There. This is next to Shimano. Hard to see, but kind of get the point. Pointing it straight towards the valve hole. It's kind of a good way to make sure everything lines up. Looks nice. I am actually going to clean this off a little bit. Some of this gunk and stuff on it is just the age of the hub coming through. Not a big deal. Just a little marring on the flange, but there's so much material here that it really helps. And it's just like a very light citric acid cleaner from Mint and Dry. Really like those guys out in Montreal. Lots of really nice stuff. Cool. There's the head top, then that way go there, kind of like lining it up and going. I like to kind of line it up and then you go, I believe, 3 back. So I'm looking at my documentation when looking at an actual wheel. Straight down. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4. Cool. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 spoke. Perfect. Oh, one nice thing about the height of this vise. You can squeeze that through. And then there's a lot of ways to put spokes in, spoke nipples and heads. Oop, almost forgot though. I want to put some spoke prep on these guys. There's lots of spoke prep out there, thread prep. I use double boiled linseed oil. It's kind of like I believe it's a varnish. Basically, it thickens up and becomes like very fatty and helps protect. It helps make sure the spokes don't come loose because it kind of expands a little bit, I believe, when it dries. I forget the exact science behind it, but this stuff is really good. Just a little flammable. Careful. Just some on the end. Where the threads are, cleaning off the excess. Just keep my hands a little cleaner. It smells great though. Very oily. There. 1, 2, 4. Perfect. And then there are specific tools for installing spoke nipples. I personally just find it's best just to use pick, from Canadian Tire, but any old pick will do. Just dipping it in a little bit of grease, kind of give it a little bit more grab to it, and then just by taking the spoke nipple, holds onto it a lot better. I find it's better than using the. I find it's a lot better than using the what's it called? The spoke, the nipple driver. Honestly, probably did not need to do that for. Well, the first few you can just kind of do by hand. So this is where a lacing jig would be handy because the rim would be supported by at least 3 points. Keep it elevated. But with that linseed oil on there, that's our thread prep. 1, cool. Then the next one will go into the valve, skip, this one will be 8 over. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It will be facing other way. What? Do for lacing. This will eventually become self-supporting as we work our way around. But one thing we can do right now, even this early, I can see the logo perfect from here. Looks really good. I'm always a little nervous about doing wheel builds as many I've built. It's always nice to double check something as a reference. Just sure. And this is 4, 5. Perfect. Bang. And then the next one that goes here. Oh yeah, it goes 1 over, it goes behind. 4, 5. There. Oh. Yeah. No. The next one, so if we're going facing the same way, so here. Then I'm going to raise this a little bit. I've got enough axle for it, which is nice. Takes a little bit more flexibility. Oh, I got 4 viewers. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Hello and welcome. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm pretty new at this, so I'm learning as I go, doing things, all these things at once. I'm going to be lacing this one, so this goes back to back over spoke there and goes 5 over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a few ways to kind of do this. This is like a mixture of ways that I've been taught. The book called The Art of Wheel Building. I forget what his name is, like Hans something. Get his name. But it's a German name, I think. He covers a lot of really good material on how to wheel build and how to practice. And he kind of mixes with a few different ways. So this one over, and then it goes 5 over from this one. Following the pattern. So 1, 2, 4, 5. The nice way about doing it this way versus doing all of them at once is if you make a mistake, it's really easy to catch and go back, work backwards. There's always a possibility of me making a mistake. I'm not perfect. I've built a couple hundred wheels probably. But mistakes happen. Yeah, this, so go from here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hard to see on the camera, but you can kind of, from my perspective, you can see that the spokes, the spoke holes, the nipple holes, the rim holes, whatever you want to call them, they are kind of in a up-down pattern. And it's a good way to check you're putting the right one, because they all should be on the same from starting on the one side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. And keep buzzing along. Oh, thank you. Have a great day. Very exciting. First stream, things going, trying to figure stuff out. This part comes up sometimes, even especially in my early days of wheel building, where I've made a mistake where I accidentally skipped 2 because I counted wrong. Hopefully that comes across on the camera. this kind of comes together, gets a little bit easier to hold. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now it's getting a little tighter. Probably want to introduce new thing. This wrench. Just gonna grab from a fresh spoke nipples here. Just got a couple spokes in there that is not liking the look of them, so I'm just gonna dump a fresh pile right here, nice and shiny. Perfect. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 13 gauge spokes. Oh, but yeah. I got it. Here's the fresh one. That's cool. I have to put those away later. They won't fit because the diameter's too big. That's okay. I have lots of these guys around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. Well, at least can't put the wrong ones. Trying to keep an eye on the chat if there's any questions. Or if there's anything missing or what have you. I'm still figuring stuff out. But still got this wheel to build. And hopefully I don't make a mistake. Somebody new. So, just kind of recap what's kind of going on here then. Doing a wheel build for a customer. We're upgrading their bike to an internal geared hub. Basically reusing this old hub with a new rim. The old rim was not a rim brake. And I figure, well, I'll practice stream while I'm doing it. Fun. There, we'll find out. The nice thing is about if there's a mistake that this will catch it. It's always a little different when you're doing something with people watching, even if the perception of people watching. So now, to move on to the next one. Now I'm going to be putting spokes facing the other direction. Start building our crosspath. So everything's kind of like a big spiral right now. So following from this guy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull the wheel. Start creating that tension, I think, correct. Also supporting the wheel, which will be nice. But I like the wheel. I want to get a wheeled lacing stand. But after a certain point, it just kind of starts to self-sustain. It's only about a quarter of the, just over the quarter of the wheel put together now. Just having a vise goes a long way. Part of the pattern is over, over, under, and that back to back is what creates the stronger point wheel for building. 1, 2, 5. Why we don't do radial wheels very much. Front wheels maybe, since we're where the forces hit and get applied. Now it's actually starting to look like a pattern versus just a bunch of loose things kind of hanging out. And kind of starts, get like a vibe for it as you kind of go through it. It doesn't take very long to get it, get a feel for it. 1, 2, 3. So the negative space there gets so big in relation to everything else, you can kind of get a sense of like, oh, that's where the next one goes. Still worth checking. Because you make a mistake, you undo the work, and that is more annoying than counting again and checking again over and over again. This guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I used to try to do this going 1, 2, 3, 4, and I just confused myself. And mistakes happen. Just stick with what works. 1 piece. Under, back. Yep. Now, next one. That was a good sign to see the right amount. I cut one extra one just in case one of the threads are bad and I have to do it all over again. Make my life a little easier there. It's coming together. One for this side, and then we flip around and start it all over. I really like wheel building. Not a lot of people do. It takes a while. A lot of like little skills that come together to make one big thing, which I really like. That looks good. Not very scientific, but I like to get a little spin, take a look at the wheel to see if it's off or anything. That's not like oblong or something weird. There will be a little bit of deviation and everything because I just put tension on it. These are uneven tension. A few other factors come together. Not gonna ever be perfect, but as you true it, it kind of brings it together. Now we do the other side. I'm gonna pitch it a little high, just to get a little clearance and a little bit of water. I'm not missing anything. Yeah, I've been going for almost 2 hours now. Look at that. Fun. Different. Hope I do more streams like this. And for suggestions, if anyone has any questions below, feel free to add. I'm still really new at this. This is my first stream ever, so anyone that's watching, thank you. Super cool for you to come and hang out. Yeah, no, it's cool. Hopefully the audio is good. Made sure to put the music on the background because I realized I wasn't going to be talking. customer does come in the store, I do have a hotkey set up so that when someone does come in, I can quickly just like, hey, I'm stream, blurs the screen, customer privacy. Gotta respect people. Yeah. So, starting with the next part. So generally speaking, kind of start, you look at the valve hole of where we left off. So there's the logo, so there's the valve. There. Looking at this spoke, started with kind of start opposite of it. So more. Gonna clean this up just a little bit. Get myself a little space. Go grab. These are all 13 gauge spoke nipples, which are typically for e-bike wheels. Not the right one for this wheel. I'll clean that later. It's not interesting to watch that. So, I got my 12 gauge, my 14 gauge spokes over here. Yes, I do. Perfect. Boom. And spokes going in on the side. So, basically, line it up to the valve. I think it's go 3 back. Double check. Whatever lines up the closest. I believe that's what we like to do here. The opposite head facing typically. Oh, it's been a minute. Especially with the big flange, it's a little different perspective. But one easy way to tell is just check if it works. This is when I start bending the spokes a little bit, but that looks perfect. Any further away, it wouldn't reach at all. Any closer, the threads would be perfect. Put down. Alright. Using this little pick to draw spokes. Check what I'm doing here. They are facing the same way. Okay, cool. That's good. Awesome. They're back to back. They're facing the flange out. Facing the same direction. Okay, so I'm just gonna swap that one around. I think it'd be fine either way, but you know. Gotta copy what it's doing there. Why not? Nice thing about these steel spokes is that they're quite flexible to a point. The bladed ones are really annoying to build with. It's perfect with that. Oh, there's my valve. Yeah, cool. Sure, like, there's a few factors that come into play, but and then we go, this one you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This will be the one that goes into that hole, including the one 8 over. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one faces the opposite direction. why you don't want to go too tight on the spokes. You need that bit of flexibility. Takes them through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Possible I did enough over. Here we go. That happens. Cool. Yeah, one more over. Gotta keep an eye on the stream. Going okay. Normally I'd remove the cog, but there's so much room to play with, I don't need to worry about it too much. There we go, cool. Why? That's why that you do those 8 over, because it's a good way to double check that everything's lining up correctly. Because if it's not, it won't go together. And I'm losing a couple of brain cells trying to balance my brain in 3 places at once. That's okay. 4, 5. Back down. Go. Go. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. There we go. That looks a lot better. I don't know if it's the fastest way to build wheels. But it's certainly the way that I've been doing it. It's okay to make a mistake every so often as long as you catch it. Oh. Yeah. Almost from 2 hours now. It's my first stream ever. Kind of figuring out how the nuances and everything goes. Seeing what people think. They care to share, no pressure. Fun to share and learn. This one will be crossing under this one. 2. Start a little. No. There. Start with. Rather wrong side. This will go through here. Go through this pattern. Come on, spoke. Go. That's one nice thing about like having it elevated is it's out of the way and you can kind of grab it. Counting from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're just counting 5 holes over. You can try to think of it different ways, but the thing is like the numbers will change based on if the holes are occupied or not. It's not worth like changing up the what works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reduces the chances of mistakes. And just repeat like that. Let's go 1, 2, 5 over. I eventually want to try to get into building like a snowflake pattern wheels and stuff. So you do like spoke twists and things. That can take a while. 5. This gets a lot simpler because hard to screw this part. Once you have everything lined up, it just kind of goes together, which is really nice. The guesswork is essentially gone because you can't really tighten this down properly for good thread engagement unless it's like shooting out like a couple inches, which really yeah you would notice that it's like this isn't doing anything, and then the other one it just won't reach the spoke nipple. but it is nice to keep a hub like this from going into the trash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A hub like this is generally around like very expensive, like $400 or $500, maybe more for an internal hub. Canadian. Boring monopoly monies. It's colorful. Definitely has that going for it though. I'll have to measure the spoke tension meter. Otherwise, we'll just be building wheel-like objects. We know how good it is when we measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Putting the wheels together though. It's always demoralizing though when you make a mistake and you're like, I have to do all this work. At least the last round, I don't even have to count. I can just go for it. Pretty much assume where everything goes at this point, but half my brain is having trouble keeping up. Headspace. That's fun. If anyone's curious for what my setup is, I'm currently using an old, Canon 80D, an 80D, as my main camera. Something I bought forever ago for projects and doing fun photography stuff with friends, and doing some headshot photography and band photography way back when. And now I'm using it for, and then this Canon's got this piece of software that lets you turn it into a webcam. Been kind of sitting around in my house for a couple of years, not really using much, so might as well use it. That's technically right. That's not the one I want to do though yet. And then I have this Akaso Brave 7 as my other camera. It just plugs in with a USB and just connects right to it. Not as high quality as the Canon, obviously, but it does the trick for like a little periphery cam. And then I have the Canon camera on a Elgato microphone arm that I bought for some time ago, and it's been really great for using it as a support. Oh, this one will be going under because we go. Boop. That's the lacing happening there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. I'm definitely gonna play with the placements a little bit. Definitely gonna be looking for some feedback on what people think of the placements. But for now, just trying to work with what I got. And this is one of those 30 gauge spokes that stuck in there again. So hard to tell the difference sometimes. Alright. I believe these are the ones. They're just not labeled. That's why I'm confused. I forgot that they weren't labeled. Get some masking tape and fix that. test it quick. It's it won't work if it's the wrong size, at least, because the physical dimensions are not gonna thread. Nope, that was the right one. Most people do want black though for their spokes and nipples. Since the wheel already has silver on the front, might as well. Plus, can't really scratch off the silver. You just break the spoke. Where was I? Spoke in actually, and I just didn't put the nipple on. Oh, I got all one side done. Now, just start with the next. And it's just the same recipe, but now it's gonna be a lot simpler because all the same steps, because there's only one hole for it to go into, but just kind of following what the other spokes are doing. They're all kind of cascading one direction. This one. Where we look. 1, 4, 5. Perfect. This one. Go under. Here. Bam. Got ourselves the spoke. Our pattern. This is when the pick doesn't exactly hold up as nicely as an actual nipple driver. It's still not bad. I still prefer it. Just trying to get that flat interface into the back of the spoke because it's like a flathead and a hole on the back. Just more annoying to line it up perfectly. The nice thing is that the spoke is going to the tension of the wheel is starting to hold it in place a little bit. Here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Since the wheel is still malleable, you can flex it around, make it work. Oh no, I did. Got them back to back and front to back. There we go. That was bound to happen. Yeah, I'm distracting myself. This is why this part is usually better to do with full focus, but you know, things happen. That one's right. This one. That's the beauty about doing it this way, is that I can catch them before they become a whole wheel of mistake. Well, not scratch the rim if possible. That's all fine in there. Cool. Well, luckily I got an extra one. I'll go. Mistakes happen. Alright, so back to it. Let's do that one. I think I said this earlier, that when you come back and you get that like position spoke, when there's already like one that's inverse, just to help keep a record of what's going on. Mess this one up because it like throws off the count sometimes. I don't know why. My brain just kind of misses it or whatever. But we'll be fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's the valve hole. 1, 2, 3, 4. That belongs there. Make it come through. One, two, three. Perfect. That's the beauty about that. Keep going. Over, under. Over, under. 3 cross path. Keep on. After I get a couple practice, then I think what I'm gonna do is post on like a Reddit and stuff, promote that I'm doing these streams. Last spoke going in. Okay, yeah. One more spoke out. There we go. There we go. It is laced and together. Beautiful wheel. Very loose, beautiful. Little snack. Cool. All right, a little snack. So the next part is truing the wheel, getting it all together. I am going to clean this off a little bit, and I'm noticing a little grind in. Might be it is what it is. So, wheels physically together. Next part is to tension up the spokes a little bit, so some working tension. First thing is to get it out of the way. I'm gonna get the chewing stand. Diff over a bit. A little low. Do that there. Gotta lock it in. There we go. This guy, this needs to move over. Not in the danger zone of the wheel. And then get rid of that third and get our wheel back. A little forward. There we go. Awesome. Here, the desk. The first thing is just to bury the threads. Gives us the working tension we need. Start at the valve, just to keep things, again, simple. Yeah. And kind of go from there. Some of these I put in more than others, not a big deal. Find a result that truly matters. Yeah. nice thing. It's already pretty straight. I love when stuff comes together. Deviations aren't gonna be too crazy, but quite well. This is the hopefully the hardest part is get it down, but it can happen. Whew. Have a little soup. I'm gonna mute myself. Don't need. Snack. But yeah, trying to get stuff all sorted out here. Whew. It's neat trying to figure out all this stuff. Checking out what it looks like to be on the back end of the stream. I need to poke around on it. It's very cool though. All right. Well, might as well keep poking along. Sure, it's all good. All right, back to it. So. The wheel seems to be coming together. I'm gonna put a little bit more tension on this so I have something to work with. So I'm gonna go around and put a full rotation and then check the dish of the wheel. Since the spokes are different lengths, it can easily become off center. Or touch the frame, weird stuff. Just just won't work. So just kind of going through and putting a full rotation at 2. But 2 rotation. We're guessing 2, but we're doing it anyway. There's a lot of spoke keys and stuff out there in the world. I personally prefer this ring one. When you're kind of putting tension on the spokes, you don't. So these are 14 gauge spokes. Or 15? They perfectly fit 15, but I use the 14 while putting the tension on them. Just because the fitment is a lot easier to get going, but also you don't. Once you put pressure on them, that's when I start using the 15 on here. It's my personal preference. Perfect. Without being better. Plus the shape is good. Like, a lot of them out there that are kind of nice. Like the Park Tool one's not bad. I just don't like the red kind of digs into my fingers a little bit. I need going through all this stuff. Feels like I'm on a Zoom call with the world and nobody's watching. Beauty about the 36-hole rim though is that we're gonna have it's gonna be very strong. The customer's gonna have a lot of years out of it. And the nice thing with internal hubs, same thing. Trying to build up a little bit on these dudes. Little wobble starting to form, but good. Now we're getting working tension. This is something we can actually work that's malleable with a bunch of wet noodles. But need to check the dish of the wheel, so I'm just gonna clear off my bench a little bit. Kind of getting chaotic here. Get a bag of some sorts. This looks perfect. Grab a Sharpie and label that in just a second. Big old 14. Goes in there. This one's labeled 13, but doesn't come across well. 13. If only they were magnetic, but they are brass. So there you go. And organize away. Whew. This anymore. Yeah, still see the logo perfectly through the hole. Oh, just so. Need to get these off the disc. Don't need this. Definitely a different element doing this while streaming. Makes your head go kind of like you're walking down the same path, been down 1,000 times, but now you're kind of walking off to the side. A little different. Or like, actually this might be better, just like you're walking down the street and then you're taking the side street. It goes the same direction, goes the same place. You're just not taking the way that you know. It just feels a little different. They might overshoot your goal because you get a glimpse every block where you've been. It's a little distorted. A little chance of getting a little lost. So now, gonna check the dish of this beautiful wheel. So checking the dish is ensuring that the the rim is centered on the hub. Really easy to have that drift. This there. This in the vise. It being a solid axle does make this a little easier. Oops. So, what we're going to be using here is wheel alignment gauge. So, it just, you can use almost anything for this that you can make. This is just handy. So basically what this does is you just need to have 3 points of contact. So the overlock nut diameter, the OLT, checking if it's offset. It should be. I believe it's less than 2.5 mils is what you want for the minimum. So see, that's gonna be dished to the right a little bit. Oh no, that's going pretty good. Pretty much bang on. Perfect. So just keep tension in that direction. I just have to tension it more, and then actually tension meter. Play that in a minute. Got a fancy one, matches the machine. Also from Wheel Fanatic, and I really like them a lot for what they do. Yeah. Basically looking for highest pop. Looking at one. Do my best. It's learning the nuances of what I can do here. Basically, we're looking for the highest point just to touch. That's where we tension. Basically, we're just like kneading out the knots. If it's touching here, tension this side, pulls it over here. Right in between the two. If the spoke length difference was more than 1 mil, there would be a little bit, there'd be a lot more dishing and stuff usually required. Because it's only one, it's pretty easy to overcome. Just less variability. This. Also, I just like to use something to hold this guy in place. I like to focus on one side at a time. Try to focus on the task at hand. The wheel is looking really good already. eventually we'll have to deal with the hop. A lot of methods to building wheels. I won't really knock any particular one. Some people like to ping the spokes to figure out where the high and low points are. A lot of ways to do it. Remember in my bike school classes, the teacher was talking about how one of the best wheel builders he ever taught was a guy that was blind, and he did it by feel. Because he could hear where it rubbed, and it still came out really well. The hardest part was the fact that he can't like read the gauge. So I'm curious on like if there was accessibility thing that he did for something. I assume something along the lines of, I don't know, just putting a notch on it for the size of spokes, and then just go from there. Because if it's only 14 gauge, then it's generally always going to be around the same wired for the spokes. Larger diameter spokes will just read different on the tension meter and get different readings. Get pretty far though with like you can build a pretty decent wheel without a wheel-like object, as a lot of people, the pros like to say at least, and you can get pretty far without the spoke tension gauge building a wheel, but it's still not a perfect wheel. But there is just like some reality. Need something that goes. Quality of it. The reason why people use an adjustable wrench versus a wrench you should use, because it's there, it's easier. There. Makes sense at the time. May never become an issue, but eventually it will damage stuff based on its requirements. Ooh! Where'd that go? There it is. Wow. Really check the dish on this shortly. I'm going a little long on it. It was only because it was going so smooth to start. Here now. Getting up there. Time's flying. Oh, this is going so clean. check the dish. Looking good. Good feeling that it is. We'll find out. Whoop. Round. Perfect. So perfect. I love when it comes together, much easier. Expect. Things happen all the time, but hey, not about being perfect. Up now. In the bits and then tension. Basically just like pulling it in a bit just to groove. And overall, building a wheel in just about 3 hours is pretty good. And feels like a manning submarine with this. Whew. together though, slowly over time. Good. Whew. Probably gonna wrap this up around the 3-hour mark. Grabbing some lunch. Heck, I don't know, but it's been fun. First stream, pretty low. Don't know why I have so much anxiety around it. I got that cut. Oh, that's where it went. Didn't even leave the stand. Bend it a little bit, but alright. Poke it is. I normally use an Allen key for this. I don't want to make it so much more complicated for myself. Get her. Ooh. Still going. Definitely been fun. I think I'm just about to hit that 3-hour mark. Need a little bit of a break from this. Need to focus on a little bit of it, but I'm glad to pop back. Well, for those people that saw it or whatever, thank you, and yeah, have a good day.